Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today we are checking out the L-Desk standing desk with programmable adjustable height controls. This is made by Anthrodesk. This is the 260 by 30 inch walnut veneer tabletop version with the gray frame. There's many different versions and colors that you can get. I'll talk about those later. And this one I'm going to assemble it, go through the full assembly, go through the different ways that you can set it up, show you my setup, and give you my review of it. You can use my promo code Brian Sloan, all capital letters, for an extra 5% off of your purchase on their website. I will link that for you below. Without further ado, let's jump into this one and show you how to assemble it. Alright, so the instructions that come with it are pretty good, but you're going to want to start with a leg in the middle there, and these two corner pieces that kind of have a little indent on the one side. That indent is going to be what you are putting in first there, as you can see, and you're going to use those little screws to just tighten them in with the Allen key that comes with it. Then we can grab our legs here. Our legs, these ones are adjustable. By loosening those points there, you can extend or shrink in your legs. You'll see here as I show you this next one, I've already extended this one a little bit for the opposite side of the L. And so I just extended them out just a little bit for now, and then I will go in and adjust that later. But you're going to use those same screws. You're going to put one in the part there where you can see it will be able to adjust, and then one in the bottom that will remain fixed in that position. Do the same on the other side, and then you'll be ready for our next step. Now we're going to go to the ends. The ends are just going to be placed on top of the leg, as you see there. And again, we're going to grab these same size of screws, and with the Allen key again, just fit them in there, screw them in. They go in pretty easily, and you can kind of tighten them all up afterwards as well. So now we're going to move to the bases. There are two of the bases that are the same size that'll go on the ends, and one skinnier one that'll go in the middle. So here I'm doing the ends, and I'm using the longer screws, and you're just going to put them into the end here. After you've tightened them all once, make sure you go back and make sure they're tight all again, because sometimes they loosen up a little bit. So here I've flipped the desk over and then put these long skinny bars on the ends of our desk, and underneath you're going to be able to see where the holes line up, and you're going to be able to tighten in screws right in the bottom. And these are the supports for the end of the desk itself, right, where the wood is going to go onto, and that we're going to drill into later. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and do that same thing in the middle and on the other end with the other support bars. The middle one is just a little bit smaller than the end ones. Once you've done that, you can put your boards right on top of the frame. Now you might need to extend the legs in or out just by loosening those pieces that I showed you earlier. Once you got them extended to the proper lengths, so you have just a little bit of hangover and they are centered, then you can go ahead and screw the tabletop in if you'd like this L shape. Now I don't need this L shape, and I want to try the 180 frame, so I'm going to show you how to change it to the 180 frame so it's one long desk, and then I'll go in and show you how to drill and screw this right to the frame so it's nice and sturdy. You can see at the end of that support beam there was a hole. Right here is a hole. That's where the screws are going to go in once you've got it lined up and where you want it. But again, I want to show you how this pivots, and then I'll go in and do that after. So to make it a 180 desk, you're going to want to loosen up the screw that you put in on this side that you can see it's going to be able to move. Once that's loosened, you can see here, you can easily just pivot it over, and it's going to line up there. Once you've done that to one side, you can also go and do that to the other side. Once both of them are in place and they're lined up, you can tighten them back up and you're good to go. Now to actually put the tabletop and secure it to the frame, I used a little drill bit, and a screwdriver. At the end of each of the supports, you're going to find this hole like I showed before. I'm going to drill little holes into each of those, and all around the bars you're going to see these little supports as well, and I did the same with all of those as well. So here I'm just going to show you one using my drill there just to put a little start of a hole in there. Be careful not to go all the way through the desk. Once you got the little start there, I put the screw on it, put it in. I'm going to go around the full desk and secure it right to the frame. Then you're going to go in and do the same thing with the control box as well. That's both sides of the control box that you can see, and you can see there's little holes for these screws to go in. Now, when I was first doing this on here, I attached it to the one motor on the one side to know the distance that I needed to do. It's probably a smart thing to do. I marked them with pencil first and thought about, marking them, setting it down here, and putting in some screw holes. I did, but you don't necessarily need to. Again, the little screws that you'll be using for these are pretty sharp, and they go in fairly easy as well. So I'm just putting putting in 2 holes where I marked. Then we'll bring that box back up here, line it up with that first one. Make sure you got it where you want it, and then you can easily go in and just drill that in. Or you can just use a screwdriver as well. Got the one side in, go in here and do the other one quick here as well. This one you can see I'm using a screwdriver just to make it go and show you both ways. At this point I decided to plug in the different outlets and the motor cords and the control cord as well. I wanted to put in the control cord especially because that's what I'm going to be attaching to the desk next, and I wanted to have that there so I can have a good idea of where it needs to go in relation to this power box here. So let's go in and attach our control box. Here it is there. I put it up. I decided to try to mark it with pencil, and then I kind of gave up on that because the holes are pretty small, and so I just got my little screwdriver, put the screws up, pushed them and screwed it in, and it went very easily. Get both of those in there and we're good to go. So now you can see it here, it's all plugged in. The cord is a little bit long in the back there as you can see, but you can zip tie it up very easily. That's what I've done now, just use a zip tie. And I've fed some of these cords through the pipes there and through the metal pieces to keep it nice and close to the top of the desk. So we're just going to show you here what this looks like. Just by pressing the up button you can see this is increasing in height. It can go from about 64 centimeters to 129 centimeters. Here I just press the home button and it's going to go back down to the home, which is 72 centimeters tall. Here's a close-up of the control panel. So on the left we have our up, then we have our down, then there's a little screen that's going to show the height that it's at when you have moved it up or down. M1 and M2 are both specific heights that you can personally save them to. So I have my M1 set to a seating position when I'm sitting in my chair, then I have my M2 set to my personal preference for a standing height, so those are just automatically saved, and I will show you how to do that in just a second here. And then the home, it just takes you back down to 72 centimeters as well. So let's take a look at how you can save those heights. So once you have it to a height that you want it, just hold the M1 or the M2 down for about 5 seconds, then you'll hear a beep. Once you heard the beep, then you're set. So now if we move it up ourselves to a different height, and then we hit that M1 button, you'll see it'll go right back down to the height that we just barely set it at, 85.8. If something ends up going wrong with this, there will be an error code put on the little screen there, and in your user manual there's a whole list of error codes that you can see, and they're really easy to fix, and it does a great job at showing you exactly what is wrong. So I wanted to show you my setup here and just talk about some of the specs and give you my review. So the frame itself comes in gray or black, and for the tops it comes in a walnut veneer, which this one is here, has an oak veneer, an elm, reclaimed elm tabletop as well, and you can get them in either 60-inch by 30-inch pieces, which these two are, or you can get 60 by 30 and a 48 by 30 for a little bit smaller. So there's a lot of different options that you can use here. This one I really like because, as I showed you before, it can be in an L shape, have that 90-degree angle, or you can have it as I'm showing you now, 180-degree angle, a nice long desk. Now your maximum weight for this is a little over 300 pounds static, and it says your dynamic or your moving weight is about 265 pounds. So it can hold a lot of weight, which is really nice for when you're working on things and maybe you have something heavy that you're working with. This comes with a 7-year warranty on all the parts, electrical and mechanical, and Anthrodesk is really great at being able to help you out if you are in need. You can see on this one for my art side of the desk, I've attached a pegboard that just clamps right onto the desk, so really easy to put on there, and then that pegboard can move up and down with the desk. I didn't want something attached to the wall because then it would probably just run into it, so I've put that there. And then on the opposite side I have my computer and my VR stuff set up, so it's plenty of space for 2 full separate workstations, which is exactly what I needed for my setup, one for the art, one for the VR and electronics and the wood burning there. So those are all the features, but now if we just consider the fact that this is a sit and stand desk, you can help reduce back and neck pain, reduce the risk of cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, increase your energy productivity, improve circulation and oxygen flow, increase neurotransmitter levels, burn more calories, all these great things by using a sit-stand desk. I love that this has those options health-wise too. I already have used both, and I find that it just makes me more productive because if I need to stand up, I can just raise the desk up, continue my work. If I'm ready to sit down again, lower it and keep on going. I don't need to go take longer breaks anymore, and I can just continue my work as it is. If you're looking for a solid office desk that has multiple configurations, this is definitely one I would recommend. Highly recommend it. Again, on their website, if you want to use my promo code Brian Sloan, all capital letters, you can get 5% off of your purchase there as well. If you have any questions about anything here, assembly, how to use, anything like that, feel free to send me a message, comment below. I'm more than happy to do my best to help you out here. This is just a great desk. Want to share it with you. I'm really excited for this to be my new studio space and be working more with this and have a nice work surface. Thanks for watching this one. We'll see you next time on Brian Sloan Artist.